Welcome to another edition of the NCBI Podcast. I'm June Tinsley, Head of Communications and Advocacy with NCBI. And today I am joined by Eugene Rooney, who is based up in Dundalk and is a service user with ourselves, but has been very proactive and successful in achieving change to make cross-border rail travel a little bit easier for those who have the free travel pass. So I look forward to hearing about that. But for now, I would just like to welcome you, Eugene, and ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good afternoon, June. My name's Eugene Rooney. I was originally born in Belfast. I moved to Dublin to answer a painting job, and I ended up meeting my wife from Dundalk, and that's how I ended up in Dundalk. And in May 1988, I had a road traffic accident, and I had steel within the back of my head and it damaged the visual part of my brain. And so that's how I became visually impaired. I've now what you call scotomas.
And that obviously was a sudden accident, Eugene. So I'm sure adjusting to that was a bit of a challenge.
It was more or less just in the blink of an eye, so to speak. Yes. And the whole world changed. I had to sort of get on. I lived my life with scotomas and face all the obstacles and problems that's associated with that I, of course, knew nothing about until I had the accident.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I suppose, obviously, things have changed from a technology point of view in the last 30 years or so, but I'm sure at that time, there wasn't as many aids and supports for you. Is that true?
No, there wasn't. I wasn't really aware of anything. When I became a member of when I became registered blind, I was contacted by my resource worker, and I was taught how to use the computer in the National Council of the Blind offices. And I'm still not great with computers, sort of way. So what do you call it? All I have to aid me would be an ID stick because I don't look visually impaired. I don't have glasses, canes, dogs, and anything like that. I don't look visually impaired at all. All I would have would be an ID stick to take with me if I was ever on holiday or something like that. That would more or less to show people that I had a visual impairment.
Yes. And you've obviously been connected with the NCBI for a significant duration of time now at this stage.
I'd say since 1992, maybe.
And can I ask what kind of services you've availed of or dipped in and out of?
Well, as I say, just there's nothing really, just the technology end, but there's nothing really. I can't really get involved in. There was days outings and stuff like that, sort of way. I don't have really family here to drive me here, take me there to meet people or this type of thing. Do you know what I mean? So I just use the NCBI for maybe if I need help with something or say the technology end of it. There's nothing really, just the computers and the talk and watch. I availed that at one stage.
Yes.
And that's really basically all I would need them for, but they're always there if I need them. Sort of, it's just a phone call away, and they're extremely helpful.
Good. And I suppose our purpose of our chat today is really to talk about the work that you did with Irish Rail. And I suppose just to explain to the listeners what the situation was prior to your intervention.
Well, if I was to go across the border, I have a free travel pass, free companion pass. And if I was to go across the border at the train station, I'd go up to the Clark railway station here in Dundalk. And I have to be there 15 minutes early. And there's a form that you have to fill in. So I would have to fill the form in. If I was on my own, that was extremely difficult. So what I done was I used to take a lot of forms home with me and fill them in, but there's still parts of it you had to fill in on the day. And you present your form then with your pass and you're issued with a ticket. It can be a return ticket or a single ticket or return tickets for your companion.
Yes.
And but what I found an awful lot of times happened to me was when I got up to the station, there was nobody there at the office, and you ring the bell for attention. There was nobody there at the office, and you sort of panic because you have no ticket. And there's a new system. Well, it's probably there these years, but because of COVID and that, I haven't been up the train station in a while. But there was a new system. The doors open. Do you know this type of thing? You put your ticket in, the doors open, and you go through.
Yes.
And these were closed at times. I would have to wait till maybe somebody came along, and I'd go in along with them. Then I get on the train, and you'd also always that worry of the conductor, asking you awkward questions, which never happened to me, but there was always that worry that it did happen to you.
True.
As to why you hadn't got a ticket.
Yeah.
And then when he would give you the ticket to say if it was return ticket you needed, he would give you a return ticket. So then you presented at the central station when you're coming home. But on one occasion, I lost my ticket. Well, I thought I lost my ticket, but I actually had it folded up in a part of my wallet. And I went to the ticket office in the central station. And they then told me that I had to fill out a form. But I told them I was registered blind, they needed help. And he says to me, he couldn't help me because there was an awful lot of people behind me. So one of the guys working in the place seen my distress, and he came over and he asked me what was wrong. And he took my wallet and he looked through my wallet and he actually found my ticket, and he got me through. But it's a very hard
bureaucratic, to say the least.
Yeah. It's like you can get on the bus with your pass and you can tap your pass and travel your journey. Do you know, or if you're going to cross border in the bus station, they will give you a ticket in the bus station, and it's always manned. Now, I did have an occasion coming back from the bus one time. I showed him my card, and the bus man says to me, "What is that?" And I said, "That's my public service card." He said, "I'd never seen that before." And I says, "Well, you're going to see an awful lot more of them because they're, people are using it."
Yeah.
But all I wanted to do really was just for myself, and I could picture anyone else in my position, or elderly people, or somebody who's just maybe they're not used to filling out forms or for one reason or another, that to show, just to hand their ticket in and get a ticket, hand their pass across and get a ticket. Plain and simple. That was just really I wanted to do. So I contacted the NCBI, and I was put in contact with Liz Jeffrey.
Yes.
And Liz Jeffrey invited me along to a Zoom meeting. Now, that's the first Zoom meeting I was ever at in my life. And I discussed my problem. And Ronan Murphy from Irish Real was at the Zoom meeting. Or he was the next one, whatever it was. I'm not 100% sure, but this is way back, I think, in February. And Ronan says to me he would contact me after it. Could I have my phone number? He contacted me after it. So he contacted me, and I sent him an email, or I phoned him. I think I sent him an email to tell him about the difficulties I experienced being visually impaired. Yes. And he said he would look into that. And with Liz, Jeffrey was constantly on the ball the whole time, pushing and looking for answers. And this type of thing, like she filled me full of confidence. Like I had never done like this before.
Yeah.
She made me confident enough to go ahead and do these things. And in fact, I have other things we're working on at the minute because of this, getting involved with the advocacy group.
Brilliant.
So Ronan then, the end of it was that Ronan sent word back saying that as from the 10th of October 2022, this year, October gone, that you just had to present your pass to the station master for a ticket. So what I done a dry run. I just went up to the station with my pass, and again there was nobody at the office, but the doors were open, and I walked on down to the platform, and I met the station master, I imagine it was, And I asked him, and he says, all you have to do is hit the side of the doors with your pass. He said, come on, I'll show you. So I went up and I put my pass against the side of the door, the doors, the gates that open, gates you call them, they open.
The electronic gates, yeah.
Yeah, and they opened for me. And he says, now put it at the front and they open again. So I put it at the front, but it didn't open. He said that was probably because I'm only after activating it.
Yes.
But he says to me that's what you do now. He says you just come up with your pass, hand your pass across, and you'll get a ticket. Now, there's just a few questions have to be answered as to what happens when there's nobody in the station to give you the ticket. Do you just go on the train with your pass and present it to the conductor, or what? There's just a few wee teething problems with it at the minute, but it seems to be absolutely fantastic, and that's all with contacting the NCBI advocacy team.
I'm delighted to hear that, because I mean it certainly will simplify the process for individuals who want to avail of their free travel pass and cross-border travel.
Yeah.
And do you think, Eugene, though, when you present yourself at Central Station in Belfast, will they have been informed that now just accept the free travel pass?
No. Central Station has then told Ronan that they still, if for talk's sake I went to Belfast and I lost my ticket and I wanted to get another ticket in Central Station, I would still have to fill out the form. Now, the form I filled out years ago in Central Station was actually, I'd say it was about a third of the size of the form that you get in Dundalk, so it's nearly minute. So,
oh God, okay.
Yeah.
So it's still very inaccessible for someone who's blind or visually impaired.
The last time I filled it in, it was, but even if it was the size of the one that's in Dundalk Station, it still presents a problem.
Yes.
Because I would have to get him to put my pass number on it because I missed new numbers and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's to me, it's maybe the NCBI would get in contact with the people from the north, the equivalent. I don't know what do you call them, the Royal Blind or something in the north.
Yeah, the RNIB, the Royal National Institute of Blind.
Yeah, if maybe they got in contact with them, because it is a cross-border thing, and maybe they would then work on their side, because there is a lot of people from the north coming down to the south, and vice versa.
Correct, and as you rightly say, now if the process is simplified for those going from the Republic, making sure they have a return ticket to make sure there's no issues.
Yeah.
It should be reciprocated, because as you mentioned earlier, it's already a hassle-free transaction if you want to board the Ulster bus going from Dundalk to Belfast.
Yeah.
So surely the rail service should be equally seamless if there's a cross-government commitment to this kind of common travel area.
Maybe that's one for the politicians. I don't know that end of it. I don't really know, but it's just something. Excuse me, something that should be looked into. Because everyone who avails of free travel in the north can come down to the south, and everyone from the south can go up to the north, and it should be hassle-free. You know, because believe it or not, an awful lot of people are put off when they hear forms and writing and
100%. Yeah,
this type of thing. Do you know sort of way?
Yeah. Exactly. And then if you present to a train station, if you get as far as going to get into the train station, if there's no staff to assist you with the forms or even issue you a ticket, it can be very off-putting. Yeah.
You're always feeling that there's going to be, a bit of an issue on the train and people looking at you. You know, this type of thing. You know what I mean? If you haven't got a ticket, or if you're handing the conductor a form and a pass, sort of way. You don't want people to know really your business. Do you know sort of way? You just want to hand them a ticket like everybody else.
Yes, exactly. You don't need to give a medical history.
Yeah, and this goes across the board. This goes for everybody with disabilities, everybody who has a free travel pass.
Correct.
Do you know?
Yeah, it benefits so many people.
And from what Ronan was saying to me, any train station in the Republic here, you can go to Cork and you can say, I want a train ticket to Belfast, just hand them your pass. Now, like people do travel from Cork to Belfast. They're going cross border. They still have to fill out the form. Well, they did still have to fill out the form. They don't have to fill it out now. They just, so every part of the country, when they're going across border, they can just hand their pass across and get a ticket. And it'll save an awful lot of paper.
Very much so, which obviously has
the way emails nowadays save an awful lot of letters. Paperwork. It's more or less the same thing,
Yeah, no, and there's obviously that's a good thing from an environmental perspective.
Yeah.
But I'm delighted that Irish Rail were receptive to essentially modernising a bit of an archaic system, and that you found the collaboration useful.
Yeah, and I found Ronan Murphy an extremely pleasant man to work with.
Great.
Speak to, and he was very helpful, and he put a lot of time and effort into this for us. And when he said he'd get back to us, he did get back, and there's no real chasing him up type of thing. Do you know what I mean? There's no, okay, you would have to maybe send him a reminder about something, but he would get back to you right away.
Right.
So he was very, very helpful.
Good. And as you mentioned earlier on, this isn't something that you necessarily do very frequently. So I'm delighted to see it's motivated you to take on a few other niggly things that have cropped up for you that you feel you can remedy.
Oh, it has. And as I said, when I got in contact with the advocacy crowd, believe it or not, June, I didn't know what the word advocacy stood for. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have had the greatest of education in my day.
Right.
And I would tell anybody not to be put off if you're not well educated, or not to be put off if you can't use computers, because the advocacy team are there to help you. They'll phone you. They'll do whatever way you want to contact them. They were very patient with me because I was useless at the computers, trying to join these Zoom teams or Zooms and Teams and stuff like that. But I have a type of condition, as I say, it was a brain injury, and I would suffer from also, it's like a brain fog type of thing. If you forget stuff very easy.
Okay. And
so if I'm not using a computer every day, and I'm away for 2 months, and I go back to this, like start new again for me.
Right.
And I found them extremely helpful and extremely patient, and there was nothing that didn't bother them at all. Especially Liz Jeffries, who I in contact with the whole time, was extremely helpful to me.
Brilliant.
Has given me the confidence to address other problems, to make things better for myself and my fellow human being.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about. I think the term advocacy can be very off-putting, but essentially it really is, as you rightly say, just making small changes which benefit not only you but other people who are blind or vision impaired across the country. And in the case of your instance with Irish Rail, it's actually benefiting anybody who is a free travel user.
Yeah, or anybody with disability.
Yeah, exactly, which is significantly beneficial.
Yeah. So it's given me a little boost to more or less, as I said, I tried to do things myself years ago. I didn't know about any of this. I tried to do things myself years ago, and I was up against brick walls and this type of thing. Do you know what I mean? I would have identified problems myself because of being normal vision one day, then the next day into a whole new world, and I'm facing obstacles and stuff like this. And as I say, the mother of all invention is necessity. Necessity is the mother of all invention. So I found out things that I needed, change and do, but I was trying to do that myself, and I wasn't really getting anywhere. But now I know the road to go down to.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I totally commend you for persevering, and delighted that Liz obviously helped you out along that journey. And I suppose the other question I'd like to ask you really is, what one piece of advice would you give to another person who's been recently diagnosed with a sight loss condition, or someone who's, in your experience, gone from being a sighted person to losing their vision very, very quickly?
Well, once you get over once you use this sort of accepting what you have, what I would do now, instead of being mad and frustrated and annoyed and stuff like that, what I would do now is I would channel all my energies into saying to myself, now somebody 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years time is going to be faced with the same problems I have now. If I can better their life by my experience and make their pathway a wee bit easier, I do it. Do you know, so I would use all my energies and my free time and stuff like that to just better life a wee bit for people who are at some stage going to go through the same as I've went through.
Yes, exactly. Well, I would just like to thank you, Eugene, for sharing that with us, and for being successful in making this change, which will definitely reap benefits not only for yourself but for everybody who's involved in cross-border travel, who uses the free travel pass. And best of luck with the other interventions. I equally hope that you're successful in those. And thank you for coming on to have a chat with me today.
Thanks very much, June.
And I suppose if anyone is interested in joining any of our advocacy work or learning any more of our services, feel free to jump onto our website, ncbi.ie, or call us on our info line 1800 911 250. Feel free to listen to any of our podcasts on our YouTube channels. You can like and subscribe there, and all our other podcasts are also up on our website, ncbi.ie. Many thanks, Eugene.
Thank you, June. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.